Right, I'm in the office with Ian and we've got the computer on, and remember that book that was signed by everyone that was on eBay? Well, look, it's already up to £1,000 on eBay, so don't know what it'll be by the time you're watching this video, but you can click the QR code that we're going to show here now, or the link below the video. But if you do want a calendar or a hat, they're less than £1,000 if you go on my website. The only slight problem is when we put it on eBay, the charity, because it's such a small charity, it wasn't affiliated with eBay. So it means that we've got to sell it, take the income in, then pay it back out again, pay 9% on top of it through eBay. And then it comes as income to me as well, which is a bit of a shame. Whereas we've done stuff in the past for Alder Hay or the ambulance, it's just been straight over to them, which is a bit of a shame. But we'll see what happens anyway. Hopefully it's not someone messing about as well, because that is an astronomical fee for a book. I wonder who added the value to it. Was it the signatures, and whose was it? Or is it the fact that it's a Joe Seals hat? Who knows? But yeah, go and check it out. Remember we thought there was a core plug gone on the chipper? We got the new one. You can see it's got a hole already in it. So it obviously wasn't gone. It has a little filter thing behind it. And it's a fail-safe, so if something goes wrong with the water pump, it dumps its water there, not into the engine. So basically, we need a new water pump. Anyway, we've ordered an exchange unit. Hopefully it's going to be in today. But we're not having much luck at the moment with the chipper. Everyone's saying, why don't you just buy a new chipper? The reason we don't buy a new chipper is the 380,000. And being as how we only need to use it for 1 day a week, it doesn't add up. And a smaller one that you might use 2 days a week is 200,000. The one we've got was 140,000. Nearly 3 years ago, second hand at 6 years old. And even new ones break down, especially when something goes through them that they shouldn't. So unfortunately at the moment, we just can't afford a new chipper. So you're just gonna have to put up with us fixing it on a weekly basis. In here is the water pump. So we're gonna have to take that off, because that's where that cap burst that's obviously lets the water out. So I think that guard's gonna come off and that's gonna come off.
And there's a pump on the back as well.
And there's a pump on the back. Oh yeah, hydraulic pump. It's a hydraulic water pump?
No, it's like 2-stage pump.
Yeah, so we're going to take it round to the workshop because it's a big job. That Merlot seems to be making a funny noise at the front. Now, I'm no expert, but I would say there's a good chance that that's going to fall off before my dad gets to where he's taking it. Rob looks like he's going to spa.
Going in the sauna.
I'll film this in case it falls off. Sounds like there's a brake disc just catching on that. That's the handbrake. Oh, it's up. There we go. It's fell, but he's got it. This was Thursday's quiz question. What did Rob have in the box? There we go. It's an inflatable David Jones on his tractor puller. Complete with a trailer on flotation tyres.
It should be like that, shouldn't it?
Ah! Get on!
Get it on!
Problem is, it's 9 foot wide. We wanted to put it on a weight block of the 936, so it's not over width, because 10 foot's what's legal. It's just whether the wheels are going to be falling off the edge. We'll have to try it and see. A ladder. Put a ladder across the top of the weight block. It's a sad day. I'm going to put the exhaust back on the Xerion. We've been saying it all week, but we just keep not getting around to it anyway. I'm going to stick it on now, and then we can start getting it ready for the lights. The inspiration for the tractor run that we do in Liverpool, so it'll be the third one this year, came from the Isle of Man. Anyway, I have booked a flight and I am flying over to the Isle of Man tomorrow and hopefully driving a tractor there as well tomorrow night. So they've got one tonight, they've got one tomorrow night, they've got one on Sunday night around their local towns. So I think it might be Douglas tomorrow night, so that's where I'll be if you're there. Exhaust back on. I think it looks far better with the exhaust on because it just looks cool with the big like mast at the front. It's like a ship. It's nautical. Yeah, the new ones. The exhaust comes out here, which doesn't look anywhere near as good. It's back after its holidays of development. See if he's got the right number plate on now. Last, when it was first delivered, he had the wrong number plate on the trailer. I hadn't noticed, but someone else did. So apparently it's going to have all new switches in the cab, completely new software on the transmission to make it drive hopefully like a fence. I've had 3 of them at the factory and been testing software on them all until they're happy with it. Someone's either got really neat handwriting or they've used a stencil to do that. It's on a valet as well. As it's tradition to film it in case anything goes wrong, I'll film it. The suspension rising. Step. There we go. Yeah, I think he's done that before. It's weird backing something off with 4-wheel steer. You've just got, unless he's put it in 2. He's maybe put it in 2-wheel steer, but you can get in a bit of a muddle sometimes. There we go, touchdown. Just time to lift the bumper back on. We didn't actually use it, did we really? Because it's easy to use the buggy. Quick change, suit on, off to Liverpool now. So I'll tell you a bit more about it in a minute. That's a proper tree, that. Right, so I am back. So I have been asked or honoured to have been asked to be a DL, which basically means Deputy Lieutenant of Merseyside. So what is a Deputy Lieutenant? Don't worry, I had to ask these questions and Google it as well. It basically means that you sort of, well, it was the Queen, but now it's the Crown or the King's representative on the ground in your region. So say if someone was nominated for like an MBE or something, then someone like nominate them, or I might recognise someone because I'm a local that was worthy or whatever. Or if someone was nominated, me and maybe another person of myself, such as another Deputy Lieutenant, would go and sort of check them out to check that it's real, that they are worthy, that they're not like a fraudster or whatever, or I don't know, different things. So I am now officially, I've got my scroll here, I'll show you a picture in a minute, and I'm now officially a Deputy Lieutenant of Merseyside. Now, I can't spell it, but if I wanted, I could put DL after my name as well, which is quite cool. So yeah, that is what I've been doing. So they came to see me last January and asked me that if they were to ask me, would I accept the role? And then I went to meet them in the summer. I think you might have seen me being a bit cryptic in the summer, saying I'd been somewhere and you'd find out in December. Well, that is it. So apparently it's official now. It was in the London Gazette last night. And from the 1st of December until I'm 75, unless I chose to retire, I'm a Deputy Lieutenant of Merseyside. So thank you very much to whoever made it happen, because I'm not entirely sure who did. And Charlotte didn't know this till last night, but I had to do a little bit of a speech. I don't really like talking about myself. I could talk about stuff I've done, different things, but I had to sort of say a little bit about who I was and why I was there, if you will. So Charlotte recorded it on her phone. It's about 6 minutes long. So I'll put it at the end of the video for you to have a look, but I'll show you me official paperwork. And I've also got this as well, which I brought home, which you can find in my pocket. I don't know which pocket it's in. Ta-da! So yeah, I'll show you my scroll. So there we go. I presume it's something that you frame, because it kind of rolls itself up. Quite good quality paper as well. Right, time to get out of this suit into a boiler suit and go back outside. Rob's got the water pump off. It's inside that housing there. The new one. It's going to Christmas markets. The new one is in here. Right, today's quiz question. Guess how much? It's an exchange unit, so that basically means someone has refurbished it. It's not a brand new one. So in fact, you can guess the price of a refurbed one, exchange, and you can guess the price off one off Caterpillar, because I think it'd be quite astounding the difference. So let me know in the comments. Here we go, the birthday bumper is back, but I've got to admit, it's far easier to write it on the buggy than it is on the flat level, so I don't know how teachers do it every day. Anyway, I must apologise yesterday, Michael Gallagher, I got it wrong. I read Michelle's name, and then I wrote it down, and I completely got it wrong. So there you go, happy birthday again for that. Now we've got you the correct surname. Thomas Palmer is 30, Paul Alford is 41, is it Alan or Alan? I don't know if I've written it right. Williams is 9, Kyle McCandles, or I've read it wrong, it's Candless maybe. Now, Reese Weedale, aka His Lordship Chalky Milk. Now, I don't normally do like AKAs on it or funny nicknames, because I never know whether someone's winding someone up. But this one's come all the way from Australia, so it's got to mention it, and it didn't look like it was offensive. Alfie White, Keith Watting, don't know. Jack Gary is 17 as well. 17,857. Let's see if we can make it 18,000 by Sunday. Anyway, happy birthday everyone on the birthday bumper. Don't forget as well to check out the eBay QR code. I'll put it below as well. I cannot believe how much that book is going for. Check it out there anyway. This has just arrived. It is a GPS tracker that we're going to use for streaming when we do the tractor run. And we've tracked it all the way here through the parcel delivery system, and it works. There we go. You can see Ian's been walking around with it.
That's when I went and met the fella.
There you go. Look,
it went.
Oh, we can see exactly where it's
it
gone.
It was in the depot. Oh, where's that now? Oh, you can see the route. That's the
van dropping the stuff off, yeah.
The depot. I think actually that's the depot on the Lancs, the DPD depot. And then it came up to 6 last night. But yeah, it's going to work well. We'll test that on a live feed.
Anyway, that is all for today. I might see you tomorrow in the Isle of Man on the Isle of Man tractor run. And here's what I had to say to the people that I've never met before. So I'll see you later. Left school at 16 and didn't want to do anything else other than drive big tractors. I'm now nearly 42. I still just want to drive tractors. Sean did a very good job at the front before behind the lectern saying where all the emergency exits are, but before I go any further, I better just say that he didn't tell you that your life jackets were under the seat. So right, I've made you all laugh, that's an easy bit done. So yeah, I left school at 16, went on to the family farm. I'm the 4th generation in Tarbuck, which is, if anyone knows, where the M57 and M62 meet. So it's actually in Knowsley. I lived sort of on the farm for, I think I was about 25, then I moved to a farm cottage up the road, then back to went to a farm that we rent off Lord Salisbury near Rainhill, which is St Helens sort of direction, and then I'm now back at the main farm at Water Lane, which is obviously back in Knowsley. I think the reason why I was approached is I've done quite a little bit of charity work, especially over the last few years. I grew about 10 acres of sunflowers just to see what would happen really, whether they grow in our climate, and it was the middle of COVID, and suddenly I had this amazing field of sunflowers, and I was like, what can we do with it? I was like, right, we can raise some money for charity. So we mowed a maze through it with a big lawnmower, and we managed to open it to the public so that we could raise some money. It was an amazing success. It was the first one ever done in the UK, and raised well over 40,000. The problem was, raising money for charity is quite addictive, and I thought, right, I need to do more. So it come to December, about this time of year, I woke up in the morning, I saw on Facebook that someone had a charity tractor run, and I was like, that's amazing, you just drive a big tractor and you put loads of lights on it. And I counted off this aerial photograph, and they had about 30 tractors, and I thought, we can do that better in Liverpool, because there's only 30 tractors in the Isle of Man, which is where they've done it. I thought, well, we can get more. So I tried to arrange it for the following Sunday. My sister said, you won't be able to do it in a week. It takes lots of organising. It was a bit of like, the expression, hold my beer. So I said, watch this. So I arranged it, got a load of people together. We had about 40 tractors. It was going great. Then we had about 50 tractors. Then the next thing we had 80 tractors. Luckily, the police were on board from very early on to support it. Anyway, by the time the night came, we had, I think, 106 tractors. We went through the city centre, we visited Alder Hay Children's Hospital. I don't know if anyone's been to Alder Hay Children's Hospital on Christmas Day, but it's a grim place. So the fact that we could bring some joy to these children was amazing. So we went to the Children's Hospital, we went to the food bank in Stanley Park, so the Fancy Point food banks, we got together with them, we did a food bank donation, which was really nice because, you know, being a farmer, we're food producers, so it was a nice synergy. We come through the city centres, we went through some of the poorer areas, so people that had never seen tractors before, headed back through Knowsley. Feather in your cap. Been mentioned a few times. Got back to the farm. Anyway, that night I think we raised over £40,000, and we did it again last year, raised over 65, and then it's happening. If you want to put it in your diaries now, Sunday the 18th of December, we're going to do it again. It's been quite easy to organise because I kind of ended up being, I hate the term, but they call you're an influencer if you've got a following on social media. And as a joke, the first day of lockdown, I was doing some filming with the BBC of what was going on the farm, and we filmed a video that day. I did some filming with my own phone, so because they couldn't get in the cab with me, and they put the video out, I put it on my social media. People started to watch it. The next day, the joke, I did it again. Anyway, I think we're on day 983 or something, it's today, 85 maybe, of doing a daily video of what's going on the farm. But it's grown massively, it's on YouTube every day, it's on other platforms. People are starting to follow it. So when you want to make stuff happen, if you want to do a charitable event, you can call on a lot of people. You're a little bit like disciples, I suppose. This is the daft way of saying it. But like, for instance, last night we got a book off a friend of mine who does a bit of the same thing on YouTube. We signed it, and a few other people that do it because of an event that we were at on Wednesday night, raising the profile of farming. Put it on eBay last night, it's up to £1,000. It's on Amazon, this book, for £16.99, but because there's a few of us signed it, so that's great. That's going to a children's charity up near Preston that attended an event at the other day. Another thing as well that's sort of happened out of it is doing these videos. Everyone wanted to what we call a birthday mention, like, oh, it's my little son's birthday, can you give him a mention in your video today? Which is dead easy because I do it every day. The problem is I started doing this, I started getting a bit out of hand. I thought, right, hold on a second, if you want to do it, you can pay for it. So I thought, so I picked the charity, the North West Air Ambulance, and every day I do what's called a birthday bumper, where I get a marker pen and I write on the front of the tractors people's names and I read them out. We started that, I think, in April, and it's now just nearly £18,000 just from giving people birthday shout outs. But you always want to raise more with charity, and that's the thing. So you might have a big success and then you just want to beat it again. So there you go. A little bit more about myself. I'm, like I say, I'm 42 in January. Got a little boy and a little girl, got a 10-year-old and a 7-month-old, nearly year-old, in fact 7 months next week. I'm also dyslexic, so don't expect me to spell anything. And if there's ever any emails, they won't have full stops, capital letters, or any correct spelling. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Hold it. That's it.
That way.
Whichever way you like. You realise you're going to have to learn how to spell the in the K, but it's
Copy and paste. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.